What's up? It's Teacher Danny, and I'm going to show you how to use Noesis and TypeScript to make dynamic images in Meta Horizon Worlds. Basically, we're going to kind of make like a slideshow where, let me show you how it works. You're going to have a Noesis UI with a button on it, and we'll be able to cycle through images. And when it gets to the end of the list, it goes to the next one, or goes to the beginning again. So have your images ready. The images that we use for this are going to have to be images that are in your asset library. So if we want to have images to use, we go to asset library, we click on my assets, you choose the folder that you want to put these images in. I already have it selected, Noesis stuff. We're going to click add new. And when you bring in images, you click texture. Add texture, tells you right here it has to be a PNG, can't be JPEG, TIFF, whatever the other ones are. Maximum size is 50 megabytes, that's plenty. So let's choose the files that I want to bring in. Oh, I already have the folder opened. So I'm going to bring these files in. And right here, you will see they will be getting ready and they're processing. We can come back to those later because before we do anything in Horizon Worlds, we have to set up the Noesis, okay? The Noesis UI, we do that with the Studio tool. So down here, I'll put the link where to download this, but we go here and once we open up projects, we're gonna create new. And whatever project, whenever you make a Noesis project, give it its own folder, okay? So I am gonna put it in the Noesis projects folder, but even within that, I'm gonna give it its own folder. So this is gonna be for pictures that get changed by buttons. So let's call it picture button. Okay, that's just the name of the folder. I'm gonna go into that folder now. See, I'm in Noesis projects picture button. And now I have to give the file a name, and we're gonna give it the same name. Okay, and it opens it up. We're gonna do it real simple. See, we have the page, which is the main thing. The grid is like something that helps you format it. We'll get rid of this grid. Okay, I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna click grid, I'm gonna delete it. I'm going to instead put a stack panel. So I'll come up here to the left and add element, go to panel and layout, and here's stack panel. Looks like shelves, which is a good picture for it because that's kind of what it is. Anything you nest under the stack panel will be stacked on top of itself vertically on the display here in the middle. And what you see is what you get. Whatever we have here is what it's gonna look like. So right now, if you were to save this and bring this in, it's just gonna be a gray rectangle. And there's other ways to style it. It doesn't, going vertically is the default, but you can go horizontal, upside down, blah, blah, blah. But right now we're just gonna do that. Okay, so we have the stack panel and let's just start with the image, okay? So I'm gonna go back up here. Oh, to add elements, I'm gonna close that panel and layout. See, I'm on add element right now. I'm gonna go down to media and I'm gonna click image and drag it down and put it in the stack panel. It's in the stack panel. You see it's like nested. See how it's kind of like indented in? And if this is showing everything that's a child of the stack panel when I click this little arrow, so that's how you know, a little triangle, that it's in there. Now, as you see, it has no structure yet because there's no image in it. So let's just set this up style-wise. We'll make the page to be, let's say, 500 by 700 because the image will be 500 by 500, and then the button will take up some room underneath. Let's style the image. The image will be 500 by 500 as well. And now we're also going to drag in a button. So let's drag in the button into, again, it's in stack panel. And you see how it says button right here. Let's make that a little bigger. Let's change the size. So I have button selected. So therefore, over here on the right side on the properties menu, let's set it to 300 by 200. All right, and there's the button. And let's change its color, just to make it a little more obvious. And I'm going to go ahead and make the word button there bigger. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit to text format. See, the font is 15. I click it, I'm hitting up, but you can type in a word. You can type, a number here. And then it affects the size. And then the button, I'm also going to, see, I set the background to blue. Let's set the foreground, which is the text, to black. Just makes it a little easier to see. And let's make it bold. All right, that's enough. Now it says button on it. If we scroll to the top of this button, we can change that. It says content here. Let's just write in next, because that's going to be the next button. All right. So essentially we have it mostly built. Now what's going to make this functional is if we share the data with the TypeScript file. How are we going to do that? We're going to come over here to the left side, and we're going to go down here to the bottom and click data. And we're going to add a structure. And we'll go ahead and call that structure button structure. And then once we have the button structure, we're going to add a data set to that button structure. So while button structure is hovered over, we click plus create data set. It makes an automatic copy of that. It's not copy, but it copies the name of it. See, it said button structure, but it also says data 01. So we'll just erase the 01. So this is the button structure. Nested under it is the data set called button structure data. I'm going to go back to button structure and select it. And then on the right side, this property panel, I'm going to add two properties. And these properties are going to be, one's going to be for the image to change the image, and another property is going to be for the button to function. So the image we'll just call it picture. The reason I'm calling it picture instead of image is because sometimes it can get confusing, because the word image might be a title for something, but it also might be in the code as image. So if we see picture, there's nothing in the code that like defaults to picture. All right, and what are we going to set it to? We are going to set that to a string, actually. And the reason we're setting that to a string is because when we start adding the assets from the asset library, we're going to use the asset IDs that are attached to those. And that's how we're going to differentiate between different pictures. And the second property is going to be for the button. And again, I'm not just going to write button. I probably could just write button, but I'm going to write button click. And this one is going to be command, which is all the way at the bottom. All right. So now that those two are selected, I got to come back over here to button structure data, which I guess I could have done before, but I'm just trying to do this logically. Come to button structure data, and I'm going to click the little house. And once I click that house, it now assigns this data set to the root folder. And we don't really need to know exactly what that is just yet, like for this entire lesson, but you'll get there eventually. All right. See how this little blue dot is there? That means the button structure is now connected to this page, which is, the root XAML file. All right. So now that this one, we click the little house, we're going to go back. I'm going to go down to the two things that we wanted to add the data to, the image. So I select image down here. I'm going to go back over to the right, and the source. This is where you tell it which image to use, but we want to leave that dynamic. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the snowman buttons to the right, click these three dots, and go down to create binding. And then this little menu pops up, and we're going to click the hamburger button. Got snowman and hamburgers all around. And since this is the image one, we're going to choose picture. See, these are the choices. We already made these. These are the properties that are within the button structure. Okay. All right. So picture. I'm going to click picture. That's it. It's selected. I don't need to save it or anything and go to the next one. We will save. Now let's go down to bottom left again to the navigator panel and click on button. And for that one, we're going to click on command. This is where you would tell it. This is what you do when button is clicked. it's like automatic in there. But again, we're going to do it dynamically. So we're going to click the snowman buttons again, and we're going to create a binding. And then we're going to go down to the hamburger button, and we got 2 choices. Well, what do you think it is? Picture or button click for this button? It's button click. Now I'm going to click off of it and save. I click Control S to save it. Of course, you can come up here to the top left and go to File and Save, blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to import this entire project into Horizon World. So I'll open up my editor again. I have the same folder with all of the images that I brought in. So I'm going to select the folder. I'm going to click Add New and go to the bottom of this list that says Noesis Project. And I'm going to find it. Let's see, what do we call it? It was under Noesis Projects, and it was called Picture Button. Open the Picture Button file. There's picturebutton.noesis project. I'm importing it, and this actually imports super fast. Imports faster than the images do. Can you believe it? All right, so I'm going to, now that I have Picture Button, it's uploaded. I'm going to put it into the world, and whenever you bring a Noesis project, you got to go over to Root XAML on the right side while the gizmo is selected. You go to Root XAML, and you're going to click the choices, and you're going to click Main Page. It's always Main Page for now. I mean, the default Studio default for the file is going to be called Main Page. It just sets it up like that, so just click Main Page. Now, since we clicked it, you see it no longer is just a blue box. It is now the thing that we made. Let's take a look at it from up close. And this is it. And you see the button works because that's how it is in Noesis. Buttons just come out automatically working, but it doesn't function. It doesn't know. Well, we have to add some TypeScript to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the asset that we just brought in, the picture button Noesis Gizmo. Okay, it's selected. I'm going to go down to the bottom of Noesis, of the properties panel. I'm going to attach a script. And I'm not just going to attach any script. I'm going to click New Noesis UI Script. You don't necessarily have to. It's just comes with like some default stuff. Actually might be less work to not use it because we're going to erase a bunch of stuff, but you'll see. Okay. So we're going to call it Picture Button. That's the name of the script. Make it the same name as the gizmo. Now I'm going to go up to scripts, and I'm going to open up Picture Button so we can start editing it. Now, we named it. We made a Noesis UI script, right? Instead of just clicking script, and so this is all the default stuff that comes in it. We're gonna erase almost all of it. See class right here? Everything above it, between that and the imports, first thing that gets erased. So all this erased. Then everything in the start menu gets erased. And then there's 2 functions in here, start server and start client, and we're going to erase them both. Start client goes all the way down to this second to last curly bracket. I mean, this is it. There's a couple imports and then the Noesis Gizmo import. Let's go ahead and import some more things that I know we're going to be using anyway. So from Horizon Core, let's add the prop types import. And we're also going to use texture asset. And that's how we're going to be selecting the images. All right. Now it already knows what I want to select from this next one. We're going to also import things from Horizon UI. So import curly brackets. I'm going to go after the curly brackets and go ahead and click from Horizon UI. So that way, once I start typing within the curly brackets, it'll know to pick from the list of Horizon UI stuff. Now it's only one thing, so it's not like it even is going to be confusing or anything. But it's going to be image source, and that is it for the imports. Now we're going to make 3 props definitions that are going to be the spaces for the strings that are going to hold the asset IDs of the images from our asset library. Okay. And I like explaining the whys of everything. If you just do what I'm telling you to do, that will also work. Okay. So the first thing we do is make a static props definition. I use the automatic one that pops up, but it's not right. So it's supposed to be props definition equals this curly bracket thing in here. And then within this curly bracket, then we start naming the props definitions. Let's say image 1. This is going to be the first image. And it will be this type. You do a colon, then curly brackets, type, another colon, prop types, dot string. And we are going to do 3 of those. Come on, computer, do the thing where you know what I want. See, now that I want it to, take the monotony out of my work, it's gonna have me type. But sometimes it knows what I want. It'll just start doing image 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. All right, so another curly brackets, type, prop types, dot string. It is string. Make sure to put the comma at the end. Image 3. Okay. Now we're going to bring in that data set that we set up in the studio, and we're going to call it data context. So data context equals, well, you know what? Let me just add something to it real quick. Before I write that, I'm going to write the word private. Okay, data context. Computer likes that more. All right, data context equals, and again, we're going to do a set of curly brackets here. And this is where we actually need to know something from the studio. So I remember what we put for the property names, but we'll go back and look at it. So data context, we're going to put 2 things in there. So it's 2 things that were binded. So let's go back to the studio, and I'm going to go back. It's clicked on button structure already, and I'm going to look at these 2 properties. So picture and button click, those property names are what we're bringing in. So let's start with the picture. I double clicked it so that way I could highlight it, and I'm going to copy it like Control C, so that way because it has to be exact. Honestly, you could probably just type picture and be fine. Okay, picture. Now, after we type picture, we're going to put in a colon. This is a little bit unique. I'm not 100% sure why it has to be done the way I'm about to show you, but AI helped me figure it out, and this worked every time. So we're going to write null as image source. Okay, it doesn't like that, does it? So we're going to hit a space. We're going to do a vertical bar. The vertical bar is, if you look at the letter P on your keyboard and you go like 3 over to the right, there's the backslash. If you hold shift in that backslash, it gives you this vertical bar. And then vertical bar, null. Okay, don't know what that means. Comma, and we're going to go to the next one. And what was the other one? I'm pretty sure it was button click. Yeah, button click, Control C, go back to the code, Control V, colon, and then we're just going to put in like an empty arrow function. Well, I don't want to just force a habit just to hit enter there, but that works right there too. Okay, so here's our data. We brought the picture and the button click, 2 things that are going to be dynamic. All right, so start. Here is the first thing that we need to do. We need to say this dot entity. So we're like declaring what this entity is, this whatever the gizmo this is going to be attached to. So this dot entity dot as parentheses Noesis Gizmo. And I started typing it and it gave me it automatically, and I just hit enter. But make sure you spell it right. Like the N has to be uppercase and the G has to be uppercased. Okay, so this dot entity dot as Noesis Gizmo dot data context equals this dot and we're going to use the data context up here. This dot data context. And let's see, I end it with the, what's it called, semicolon, but you don't have to do that. All right. Now we're going to make the image that we are going to put in there. We're going to tell it which image to use. So let's say, let's make a constant for the, constant variable for the image. So we'll just say constant image. I'm going to write it in lowercase just so that way it doesn't get confused with other stuff. Constant image equals. Now this is something a little nuanced to Meta Horizon Worlds. Once you know it works, I use it all the time. Because I've imported texture asset and image source, this will work. So constant image equals image source. Image source dot from texture asset. See, that's an actual choice. That's not AI telling me that. That's the actual program. From texture asset. Now we're going to put parentheses, new space, texture asset. And again, I'm letting the computer give me choices, and I'm hitting enter because, again, everything has to be capitalized in the right places and everything. Now that we wrote new texture asset, we're going to put another parentheses, and in there we're going to write big for big integer. And as you see, the very first choice, I was about to like point, like you'd be like right here, big integer. Okay, now I'm going to put another parentheses, and in here is where we're going to tell it which image to use. And let's just go ahead and say the default picture will be whatever is image 1. Okay? So big integer, we're going to put a string in here, and it'll be this string, the image 1 string. And how did we do that? Well, it's under props definition. So we say this dot props dot, and see, once I hit dot, it gave me these 3 choices, image 1, 2, and 3, because we already put them here. So it knows it has, if once you say this dot props, it's limited to this object right here. So you must be one of those 3. So anyway, so this dot props dot, we'll say image 1. All right. Now that's just saying that the constant image equals whatever image was here. Okay. So after constant image, now we're going to actually set the image, and this is how we do it. This is super simple. This dot data context dot, remember at data context we have 2 variables, picture and button click. So again, as soon as I hit period or dot, it gave me these 2 choices. Okay, we're going to change the picture. Okay, and what are we going to change it to? Equals image, which is what is just above it. Okay, so this dot data context dot picture equals image. So what that does is that actually is how Noesis is going to know to make changes. So once you tell it to do that, once you tell it to change, you didn't even tell it to change. We set what the picture is. And normally when you have a user interface, there has to be something to make it tell the interface to change if the variables behind the scenes are changing. But when you use data context, it just works. So this dot data context dot picture equals image. So now since this script is already attached, I'm going to click Control S to save it. This script is already attached to the gizmo in there. So let me go back to the Horizon desktop editor. All right. So here is what we just brought in. It's the Noesis Gizmo. It has a space for an image. It has a button at the bottom. And I said before, we're going to click the button and cycle through. Right now, let's just show how to display one image. And then if you want, you can make this thing without the button on it and just have it to display one image. Because every time you bring this in, you can choose what the images are. And the way you do that is, now we have it selected. We have to tell it what the images are. So I'm going to see these 3 spaces over here. Now that I have Noesis Gizmo selected, these are the 3 props definitions that were in there that were prop types.string. And we're going to click on one of these images or textures. And we're going to go, once it's clicked, it opens up in properties. We're going to copy the asset ID. It's copied. I'm going to click on the gizmo again and go to the bottom, and I'm going to just paste in that first one. Just did Control V. Now for the second image, I'm going to copy it, go back to the gizmo, put it in for the second. And I'm not putting quotation marks or anything around it, even though it's supposed to be a string. Since we told it prop types.string, it's taking whatever we put in there as a string. All right, and the third one is flower. We'll go ahead, copy the asset ID, go back to the gizmo, click image 3, Control V, and enter. All right, so those are in there. Remember, we set the default to be image 1. So I'm expecting that as soon as I click play and go into the world will start, and in the start function, the image should be set. So as soon as I go in there, we should see whatever image 1 is. Come on, please work, please work. Yay, oh my gosh. you never know. Now, the button won't do anything yet. We haven't made it do anything yet. But again, if you want to just bring in this without the button, and then every time you bring in picture button, you can just put whatever asset ID you want in there. You know, you would only have to put it for image 1, and you could bring in this gizmo as many times as you want. Each one can have a different image. All right. So now let's add the code that's going to use the button. Okay, it's only a couple more things that are going to be different. So we're going back to our code. We didn't really need image 2 and 3 for that last one because we only used image 1, but we'll keep it in there. All right. We didn't need button click. We never really used that because we weren't cycling through the images. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to make a list of those images, and then we're going to tell it, go to, the first image on the list, second image, third image, and so on. So we do that by telling, when we make the list, we're going to say, instead, you don't say like go to number 1, you say go to index 1. And technically index 1 is going to be the second picture. The first picture is going to be index 0. That's how computers manage lists. So let's change that index, because we're going to have to change that index as we cycle through. So let's just make a variable for the index. Okay, so we'll say current index. We'll say it's a type number, and we'll equal it to 0. Okay. And let's see. Then we will. What else are we going to bring in? Okay. Oh, and now we need to make a list. So let's just make a variable for the list, and we'll put in the start function how the list should go. So let's just make a structure or variable for the list. We'll say image list, and that will be a list of what? Strings, right? And since it's a list of strings, when we tell it its type is string, we have to put the square brackets after it. Okay, so this image list is equal to, let's just make it an empty bracket. That means a list, but there's nothing in the list. So when as soon as the world starts, whatever happens in the start function happens. Okay, so I'm going to put something at the beginning of the start function, and we're gonna set the image list. So we'll say this.imageList equals, let's make that bracket because it's a list. What are we going to put in that bracket? We're going to put these 3 images. And the way we do that is this.props.image1, this.props.image2, this.props.image3. So now this image list is composed of whatever 3 things are in here. Now, if you don't fill these up with the images correctly, like if we leave any of these blank, there might be errors or something. I don't know. So make sure you have all 3 of them have images in it. when we in the desktop editor. See these three things, image 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you have images on it. See, because it shows up here, image 1, 2, and 3. And these are the asset IDs or the strings that we're using. All right. So now that we've set up that list, let's set up the button clicker. Okay. Now we're going to say image. Remember before we said image is just going to be prop types dot. Oh, hold on. Okay. So we're just going to make the function here. We're going to set this function. So button click is the function, and it's a blank function. So we're going to set that. So this dot data context dot button click equals, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a function. We'll call it click handler. It can be whatever you want to call it, but we'll call it click handler. And see, I'm going to type in how we would call it, but it's going to have an error because we haven't created a click handler function yet. So it's this dot click handler dot bind, and then parentheses this. All right, and see, it has that error because we have to make a click handler function. So after the start method, then we're going to put in the click handler. So click handler, put in some parentheses, space, curly brackets, and now every time button click is used, it is going to call this function, but I just noticed I called it click hander. We're not handing the click, we're handling the click. Come on, bro, act like you've been here. Okay, so I just had it misspelled. So this dot click handler dot bind, and then outside of the start method, you have to make the click handler function. This is where the magic is going to happen. All right, so let's set the current index. All right, so because every time you push the button, it's going to call click handler. And when I say call, that means like activate. It's going to activate click handler, and it's going to move to the next image in the list. And the way, again, it tracks the list is by using indexes. So we'll say this dot current index equals, this is going to be a little bit different, right? So let's say we want to go to the next index. We're at index 1 and we want to go to index 2. We'll say this dot current index equals current index itself plus 1, right? So if it was equal to 1 and then we say itself plus 1, it is now equal to 2. But we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do a slightly different equation. We're going to start with the this dot current index plus 1. Okay, so I made parentheses. This dot current index equals this dot current index plus 1. And then after that, I'm going to put outside of the parentheses, you could do plus, minus, divide, whatever. We're going to do something called modulo. And modulo uses the percentage sign. I'm going to do a real quick explanation of modulo. Remember what back in the day when we used to do division and it would be like, 10 divided by 6, right? So 6 goes into 10 one time, but there's still 4 left over. So you would say 6 with a remainder of 4. Well, if you were to do 6 modulo 10, that would be just like doing that division with the remainder of 4. The answer is whatever that remainder is. So if you did 6 modulo 10, the answer is 4. If you didn't catch that, don't worry about it. So this dot current index plus 1 within the parentheses, percentage sign, which is modulo, and we're going to say whatever the length of the list is. So this dot image list dot length. All right. And what that's going to do is this is how it resets. So let's say it gets to the very last index. There's, it's at, let's say there's 4 pictures and it gets to index 5, right? And it's going to be, because this current index, so you click handler, it sets this current index to +1, but then modulo whatever the list is, the list length is. So if you're at length, if there's like 5 in there and you're on the last one, which would be index 4. Now it's this dot current index +1, so now it's index 5. 5 modulo image list dot length is 5. The length is 5. So 5 modulo 5 is 0. 5 modulo 5 is 0 because 5 divided by 5 has no remainder. So therefore, this dot current index is 0. So 0 is going to be the first thing in the list, and that's why it starts over. And again, if I'm a teacher, I want to do shorter videos. I'm not going to. I'm just going to be thorough. Okay, I do want to make these super beginner friendly. I do want people to be able to understand this. But if I'm a bit long-winded, it is because I really think that if you understand what's going on underneath, then it'll be easier for you to use other people's programs or to use AI. You don't have to be typing this stuff out. I don't expect people to get to the point where they're just typing this stuff out all the time. But this is a particularly simple project, and I just want people to understand how it works, all right? So what else is going to happen? We changed the current index, but that doesn't change the image. So now we're going to do the image again. We're going to say const image. And see, normally, gosh, it's so thorough. Normally, when you say const, it cannot be changed. But what it means is it cannot be changed within its context, which is within this function. So const image cannot be changed within the click handler function. Once it's named, that's its only value. Now you see here up in the start function, I have a const image. So how could I do a const image down here? Well, they're separate because they're in separate functions. Okay, so const image is equal, and we're going to write this whole thing up here again, blah, 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 blah. Why don't I just copy and paste it? No, I'm gonna make it from scratch. Okay, image source dot from texture asset, parenthesize, new texture asset, big int. Okay, now we put the parentheses after big int, and instead of putting this dot props dot image 1, we are going to say image list at a certain index. Okay, so let's say, and we're going to use the current index. So once we click it, it's going to make this current index equal to 1. All right, so new texture asset, big int, and we're going to say this dot image list. We're going to put those brackets, and so this brackets is going to tell us which one on the list. So we could put in a number, do the second one on the list, the fourth one, whatever. But we're going to say this dot current index. All right, so now that's what this variable image is. And now we're just going to do the same thing where we say this dot data context dot picture equals image. All right. I'm saving it. Control S. Please work, please work, please work. I'm telling you, that's scripting. No matter how confident you are, you don't know, is it going to work? All right. And yes. Okay, good. It took a second to load, and it'll go faster. See, at first it was delaying, but look how fast. This is what's so awesome about Noesis, is it's just really smooth and really quick and really light. So that's how you make image cycler in Noesis. Now you also, now you know more than just how to change images. You know how to use a button functionally. So maybe this button would just be like a button, and then it changes, some stats. Or if you go into the custom UI tutorial in Meta Horizon Worlds, then you'll see a lot of different examples of how it's used for. But now you know how to use a button. You know how to connect it and how to have that button do something. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm like happy to meet people online and show them this. This is not the kind of lesson I would charge people for. This is simple. Anybody who wants to get started with Noesis, this is a great second project. My last one was a good first project because it didn't even have code. It was just kind of like, let's use the studio. So thank you very much for checking this out. Hit me up in the comments with whatever, like, subscribe, right? You have to say that. I can't go on without mentioning that part. Super important. Because if you don't like and subscribe, how will I know? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Teacher Danny out.